A reporter once asked Michael Jordan about his secret of success. Michael had only this to say: I have missed more than 9,000 shots in my career. I have lost almost 300 games. 26 times I have been trusted to take that game-winning shot, and I missed. I failed over and over and over again in my life, and that is why I succeed. Fellow Toastmasters and dear guests, a very good evening.
Good evening.
I have quoted many failures in my life. Exactly 1 month before my board exams, my father showed me a page in his album which had a pitch black background, against which was a newspaper clipping which read 10 standard batch topper, above which was my father's photo. Just beside that was a newspaper clipping of my sister, which pretty much ran the same idea. Now both these photos were very closely pasted, leaving a lot of space on the right hand side. When I asked my father why so much space was there on the right side, he smiled and remarked, "That space is for you, son." I was at a loss of words. Until then, I never worked hard. I hardly worked. But after that remark from my father, I spent the next 1.5 months playing with books, and more books. When the results came out, much to my surprise, I was not even in the top 10. My father was disappointed. I was devastated. But after that day, I studied extremely hard and made sure I did better than both my father and sister combined. This made me realize that there is no such thing as failure. Failure is just a temporary postponement of success. Because the win teaches you only a page, while a loss teaches you a book. The point that Jordan is trying to drive home is not that if you succeed in your first attempt, then it's a failure. Rather, if you fail in your first attempt, you'll eventually succeed, provided you don't give up. To sum it up, what chutney is to idli, failure is to success. One is inseparable from the other. Failure is the only word in the English dictionary which is all the past, the present and the future tense, because it is happening every second. Kareena Kapoor made many a sacrifice to achieve that much envious size 0 figure. I'm a size 0 by default. Most people call it an achievement. I call it a failure. I've tried every trick in the book to put on weight. High protein food, high caloric food, gymming. But my waist is still a waist. Should I throw my hands up in the air and convince myself that I can never put on mass? Yes? No. If I did so, it would be called a failure. So I still go to the gym every day, supplemented with healthy food, with the firm belief that by December next year, I will be a CC, competent corpulent. History will replete with examples of personalities who become successful only after having encountered a string of failures. In 1883, a creative engineer named John Roebling wanted to build a spectacular bridge connecting New York with the Long Island. However, bridge building experts throughout the world felt that this was an impossible feat and told Roebling to shelve the idea. But Roebling could not ignore the powerful vision he had in his mind about the bridge. He convinced his son, Washington, an upcoming engineer, that the bridge could be built. So with the headiness of a wild challenge before them, the father and son duo hired their crew and began to build their dream bridge. Just a few months into the project, tragedy struck. A tragic accident on the project site snuffed life out of John Roebling. Washington was injured, left with a considerable amount of brain damage. Not able to talk, walk, or even move. We told them so. Crazy men and their crazy dreams. Everyone had something negative to comment and felt that the project should be scrapped, as the Roeblings were the only ones who had the technical know-how of how the bridge could be built. In spite of his handicap, Washington still had a burning desire to complete the bridge. He tried to inspire and pass on his enthusiasm to some of his friends, but they were too daunted by the task. As Washington lay on his bed in his hospital room, with the sunlight streaming through the windows, a gentle breeze blew the flimsy white curtains apart, allowing Washington to see the clear blue sky and the canopy of the trees outside for just a moment. It seemed there was a message for him to not give up. Suddenly, an idea hit upon him. All he could do was to move a finger, and he decided to make the best use of it. By moving it, he developed a code of communication with his wife. He tapped his wife's shoulder, indicating to her that he wanted to call the engineers again. Using the same method of tapping his wife's shoulder, he told the engineers what to do. It seemed very foolish, but the project was underway again. For 13 long years, Washington typed out instructions on his wife's arm until the bridge was finally completed. And today, the spectacular Brooklyn Bridge stands tall in all its glory as a triumph to the tribute of one man's indomitable spirit and his determination not to be defeated by circumstances. This only goes on to show that when you want something, the entire world conspires in helping you achieve it. It's not that some people are successful because they're children of a greater God. It's because they never hang up their boots when the chips are down. Let me share with you a video which will clearly demonstrate in no uncertain terms what never giving up is all about. masters and dear guests, it's not important to win the race, but it's very important to finish the race. Mr. Cruz.